Wednesday morning. Professor Walker's lecture hall. The kind of quiet where 100 people are all silently hoping not to be called on. Walker, late 50s, short gray hair, those dark rectangular glasses, scans the room and lands on Aarav. Aarav, what happens if the list is empty here? And Aarav's mind, which has an answer somewhere, goes completely white. Every eye in the room, the clock ticking. And out of the silence comes the worst possible sentence. I don't know. Flat. Final. A door slammed shut. Walker nods, not unkindly, and moves on to someone else. But the moment stays, hot on the back of Aarav's neck for the rest of the class. Because here is the thing, he was not wrong to not know. He was wrong to stop there. Welcome back to Think in English with 1,000 chunks, one story, one situation, 5 chunks of real English. This is Aarav, week 2 in California, and today he learns the 5 things smart people say instead of I don't know. Because not knowing isn't the problem, closing the door is. Let's go. That afternoon, a glass-walled study room in the library. A whiteboard, 3 laptops, and a group project due Friday that currently exists only as a title and a rising sense of panic. Across the table sits Sofia. Denim jacket, enamel pins, that same look from the cafeteria that says she can see straight through you. Okay, she says, which database are we using? And Aarav feels it coming again, that white blankness, the reflex. Nope. Sofia holds up a single finger. Don't. Try this instead. I'm not sure, but I think it's the one Walker showed us. See, Sofia grins. That is a completely different sentence. I'm not sure, but. This is the door left open a crack. I don't know gives people nothing. I'm not sure, but hands them a guess to work with. It says, I don't have the final answer, but I'm still thinking, still in this with you. I'm not sure, but I think it's Tuesday. I'm not sure, but maybe we try the other one. You are not claiming to be right, you are refusing to be useless, and those are 2 very different things. Aarav writes it down, and something in his shoulders comes down half an inch. For the first time, not knowing feels survivable. Back in Mumbai, in a classroom of 60 students all racing to be right, I don't know was a small public death. Nobody ever taught him there was a whole hallway of doors between knowing and not knowing. He just thought there was a wall. They dig in. Sofia asks when the sources need to be finalized. And this one, Aarav actually knows part of. As far as I know, everything's due Friday at midnight. As far as I know. This is for the things you know, but not 100%. It says, here is what I believe is true, and I am telling you honestly that I might be missing something. As far as I know, the library closes at 10. As far as I know, she's still coming. It shares what you have without pretending it is the whole picture, honest and useful at the same time. Then Sofia hits a real wall. Do we need 5 sources or 7? And this time, neither of them knows. Not a guess, not a maybe, a genuine blank. But watch what Sofia does with the blank. Let me get back to you. I'll check the rubric tonight. Let me get back to you. This is the one that changes everything. I don't know ends the conversation and promises nothing. Let me get back to you ends the conversation and promises the answer is coming. It turns a dead end into a small appointment with the future. Let me get back to you. Let me check and let you know. You still don't know. But now you are the person who finds out. And notice what it does to Sofia's face. She doesn't look disappointed. She looks relieved. Because a promise is easier to trust than a guess. In 4 words, Aarav has gone from the guy who freezes to the guy you can count on. By 4 o'clock, the study room has beaten them. Too quiet, too bright, the whiteboard a graveyard of half-erased arrows. Come on, Sofia says, closing her laptop. I can't think in here. There's a cafe across the quad. Diane's. Warm light, the hiss of the machine, a woman behind the counter in an apron, short graying hair, and the easy patience of someone who has poured 10,000 coffees. "Afternoon," she says. "What can I get you to?" They order. She smiles like she has all the time in the world, even though she doesn't. They sit by the window and spread the project back out, and somehow it breathes easier here. Sofia taps her pen. "Roughly how many pages are we looking at?" Aarav starts to reach for the panic, then catches himself. "Off the top of my head, maybe 10? Off the top of my head, this is the quick guess, straight from memory, no looking it up. It tells people, I haven't checked, this is just what comes to mind right now, so don't hold me to it. Off the top of my head, it's about a 20-minute walk. Off the top of my head, she has 3 brothers. It is fast, it is casual, and it keeps a conversation moving instead of stopping it dead to verify every little thing. Aarav likes this one. It fits the cafe, the warm cup, the loosening afternoon. A guess you're actually allowed to say out loud. Outside the window, the quad is turning gold. Students crossing it in 2s and 3s, and for a moment, the whole project stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like something 2 people are simply figuring out together, which, he is learning, is what most of life actually is. Sofia stirs her coffee, thinking, "You know what? Don't quote me on this, but I think Walker actually likes it when you just try. He hates the frozen thing, the I don't know thing. Don't quote me on this, but the most relaxed one, and a little bit fun. It's a guess you're a little confident about, wrapped in a joke that says, if I turn out to be wrong, don't blame me. Don't quote me, but I think the test got moved. Don't quote me on this, but she's leaving in June." Friends use it constantly. It lets you share a hunch without betting your whole reputation on it. Aarav writes down all 5, the cafe warm around him, and looks at what he has built. 5 ways to not know something and still sound like a person worth talking to. And then, days later, the test. Walker's class again. The same quiet. The same slow scan of the room. Aarav. A new question, just as hard as the first. But this time the white blankness comes, and Aarav does not freeze inside it. "I'm not sure," he says, "but off the top of my head, I'd guess it breaks the loop. Let me double-check and get back to you." Walker pauses. Then, the smallest nod. "Good, that's exactly how you handle it." And he moves on, but this time, the heat on the back of Aarav's neck is a completely different temperature. Because the secret was never about knowing everything. Smart people don't know things all the time. They just never let it slam the door. The confident ones, the ones everybody trusts, are not the ones with every answer. They are the ones who can stand comfortably in the middle of a question and say, honestly, here is what I've got so far. That comfort is a skill, and like every skill this year, Aarav is learning it one chunk at a time. Evening. The cafe is nearly empty now, chairs going up on tables one by one. Sofia left an hour ago. Diane is wiping down the counter, in no hurry to push him out. Aarav has the notebook open to page 7, the last of his coffee gone cold and forgotten beside it. Real English. 5 ways to not know and stay in the conversation anyway. For each one, when to use it and how it sounds. Listen and repeat in your head. 1. I'm not sure, but. The honest guess. It keeps you useful. I'm not sure, but I think it's this way. 2. As far as I know. What you believe is true, with room to be wrong. As far as I know, they're open till 10. 3. Off the top of my head. A quick guess from memory, no checking. Off the top of my head, maybe $20. 4. Let me get back to you. The promise. You don't know yet, but you will find out. Let me get back to you tomorrow. 5. Don't quote me on this, but. The relaxed hunch between friends. Don't quote me, but I think it's canceled. 5 chunks. 1 scary question. 1 whole way of not knowing gracefully. Yours now. Keep them close, because the truth is, you'll reach for these far more often than any perfect answer. Today, Aarav said, "I don't know," and a room went silent. Then he learned 4 better doors, and the same room started to feel like a place he belonged. Next time, a quiet weekend alone. Aarav texting home, translating every sentence word by word in his head, and watching his English come out stiff and strange. Until he learns to stop translating and start reaching straight for the chunk. Now open the comments, pick your favorite chunk from today, and write 1 sentence with it. Your sentence. Your English. I read every single one. Subscribe so you don't lose Aarav on his way to 1,000. See you in episode 8. And remember, you don't have to know everything. You just have to keep the door open.